What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Monday morning, March 30th, 2026. About 10 minutes to 8 here in the morning. Right now, we're heading to our first service call of the day in Valley Stream. Valley Stream is the town, or I guess you could say village, that used to be home for Pipe Doctor Home Services, my company, for about 15 years before we moved to Woodmere. So we got this existing residential client. We have not seen them in the past couple years. They've been with me for a while. They've been with me they've been with me when Pipe Doctor was in Woodmere before we went to Valley Stream and got our facility there. So they've been with us for almost 20 years. Pretty epic. So we have not been to these two ladies in about 3 years or so. And a lot has changed. We are now utilizing House Call Pro for our CRM instead of Service Pal, which allowed my business to scale, grow, and take that CRM with me as we grow. This is before we actively promoted the maintenance agreements that we offer for plumbing and HVAC. So we're going to explain all that to them when we get there. I'm going to do my best to get it on video. That way you can hear how I present the benefits of using Pipe Doctor and the programs that we offer our clients to help them save time and money. Yep, that was a complete stop, folks. Are you ready? Let's go. Oh, by the way, it's a toilet repair. Good morning.
And how are you?
Thank God. Yourself?
Yeah, me too.
Long time no see.
It has been.
Long time.
It has been a long time.
No see. How you ladies doing?
Hey, we're alive and kicking. Hi.
You got a ductless system in.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you didn't call me?
Well, no.
No.
I'm sorry.
Aw.
Maybe you can help us with the problem that we've got.
With what? The toilet? Yes. Let's go see what's going on with the John. AKA water closet. AKA porcelain god.
Obviously, you know that's. I'll get out of here.
AKA the So you turned off the water to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about the water company. What happened?
Well, Liberty Water. They
Yes.
sent me. They
An
sent
email.
me an email on. It was Saturday. To talk about the fact that they detected a leak
Yes.
with their new system. Okay, well, we had Saturday afternoon we shut the water off. Okay.
To the toilet.
To the toilet, yeah.
You heard it running.
Yeah, well, we flushed it and the water kept going and going and
Gotcha.
going and going. And I had my nephew and his wife and the two kids here, so I thought, oh, please don't tell me something went down with John, because we were talking with a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old, you know.
Correct.
But no, everything, it was flushing. It still flushes and everything.
Okay.
To the leak.
Interesting. All right. Well, that's because something is still moving in here. You could see the water's off, right?
See it. Yep.
But it's still flowing.
Yep.
All right. You see how like dark brown it is in this toilet?
Yep.
You know what that's caused by?
Nope.
That's our amazing water that comes in. Okay. We're gonna have to do some work here, but first let me see the water main, because as you said, you have the water off here at this valve, and it's not off, and that's why it's still leaking. So hopefully there's nothing wrong with the valve, but let's just make sure that the water main is, before I start doing anything, make sure the water main is
Okay.
accessible and functional. So that's this valve, the water main. Okay, should be good. Yeah, you could feel water moving through here because it's much colder than like the ambient temperature.
Okay.
So you're definitely passing water through here. And if you had an older analog meter, not a digital one, we could see that more freely. But
Well, that was just installed.
I know, yeah. All right. All right, here's that water measuring device. And as you can see by the condensation on it, it's still running. Essentially. You see how that chain wasn't sitting properly on that? This was up there like that, so it was holding it up. So we can clean off this tank lever, maybe replace the flapper, and clean the inside of this tank. Let's see. Huh, it wasn't. See, shit like that. One more. That's all clean, good. Now it's off. Let's do a rebuild with this toilet. All right, we're gonna do something real special and magical here. Okay.
Okay.
So let me give you some good news and some not so good news. Not so good news is because I'm here in your house, and when you call the serviceman to your home, it's usually not to invite him over for tea and coffee and donuts,
But
right?
you're more than
I do come with a price, unfortunately, right?
You're more than welcome.
So the good news in this particular case is that even though you turned the water off, you didn't fully close the valve. So that's one less thing that we have to replace.
The one underneath
The one underneath the toilet. So when you turned it off, or you turned it off, you didn't give it a little extra on it. It was like you thought you did, and I did it myself, and it feels like it's closed, but then you give it a little extra, and now it like goes into place, and then the water stops. So what happened?
That's why the water was flowing inside the tank?
No. That's the reason why you still got an email from Liberty saying you still have, this phantom usage that you don't normally have. Right, so one of the great things with these smart meters is that they can alert you when there's something wrong. But it also, a lot of people are saying that they also measure the water inaccurately, resulting in a higher water bill. That's neither here nor there, but nonetheless, the underlying condition is the age of the toilet, even though it's not that old, and the components inside of it due to the water quality you have in the home. We could address, the underlying issue, and we plan for that maybe in the next couple of weeks if you want to discuss things and put things in to improve the water quality in the home. But the more underlying the underlying problem is the underlying problem. The problem you're having now is the components inside the toilet are aged and aged more rapidly than, let's say, you're upstate, or like up in Massachusetts where you have spring water.
Well, her house is all filtered.
The filtered well water, right? And it's good water. Here, the water has a tremendous amount of iron in it. And if you guys drive around Valley Stream on West Merrick Road, there's an iron processing plant that Liberty owns, right on Merrick Road. It's fenced off. Looks like a industrial looking house,
Okay.
but it has a big giant tank outside, like a big tank, and that's where they remove the iron for the neighborhood, because there is a tremendous amount of iron. So that dark brown that you see inside the toilet tank is the iron building up and collecting there. What we can do today is replace, the guts of the toilet. The tank lever still looks good, but I would recommend replacing the fill valve and the flapper, and I would literally make the inside of the tank look new. I have special chemicals that take out all that stuff and that rust out of, and that sludge buildup, which is building up inside the toilet. But like I was saying, the underlying problem is the iron in the water. And I've known you guys for probably almost 20 years now, at least 15 years, right? And I know we did that water filter.
When you started.
Yeah, exactly. That was like 18 years ago. But you may, like I said, I know you ladies aren't going anywhere. right?
No,
And you also have to spend your money, you know, in a cost-effective fashion. There are, you know, from years ago, there are cheaper alternatives that can filter out all the water to the home that weren't available like 15, 18 years ago. And these companies are still around, you know, like you can get a Home Depot filter for, you know, $500, $1,000, and then, you know, when you need the new filters, they're out of business and you have to throw the whole thing out, right?
Okay.
But I would recommend you do something with that. Again, don't do it today. I can't do it today for you, but we can order the stuff we put in quite frequently. But the water that you're bathing in, cooking, and doing your laundry in, and it's affecting all the plumbing in the home, you may want to consider that. Now, that being said, with the parts that you need for your toilet, before we apply any discounts and after tax is about what we do offer now. By the way, I'm still family owned and operated, by the way. And I have three other guys, and I have a wonderful office and a woman named Janine, who answers the phone during the week. You left a message yesterday. One of you two did. Saturday, and I called you back.
Yes, you
And
called me back.
and then we made the appointment for today. But we also offer like maintenance plans,
Okay.
so which could make today's visit cheaper. And I'll tell you what you get for literally $25 a month. You have to build on a credit or debit card. We come once a year and we do a wellness check on all the plumbing in the home. If at that point you want us to change filters, you have the filters, we're here, we'll put them in, no charge.
Okay.
You also get one free stoppage a year. So let's say a toilet's clogged or a kitchen sink is clogged, and instead of paying us to do it, you get one free per year. And you also get priority service and emergency service included as well. And it waives the trip charges and it makes the labor rate a little bit cheaper. And it's $25 a month. But most importantly, you're paying for one free one free wellness check to check things like toilet conditions, things like that. And if you have, I know you have oil heat, but if you had like a water heater, we'd flush that out for you as well. But and then today would be.
Well, we have a water heater.
But it's oil.
Oil.
Oh.
Yeah. But I can also discount today about 13%. So if you want to sign up, but I should have everything in the toilet, everything in the truck for the toilet.
Okay.
I'm curious about the ductless. How long did they put that in for you?
How long ago?
Yeah.
It was done, well, the wall unit crapped out on us. That's why I got
All right, we're gonna take this rust remover. Right now I have it in just a regular spray bottle, but this is by those people, not Wink, but it's a great rust remover. Goof off rust remover. Let's grab a water measuring device and a flapper. Hopefully I can adjust this enough. Let's get a nice rag, and just in case. And I got the gloves. Let's grab a little baby channel lock, a larger channel lock, and get the show on the road. And I should have brought the knee pad, but we'll use that to catch the water. All right. Let's get the show on the road. So taking a look at this flapper. It's starting to wear a little bit. All right, let's disconnect the water from the water measuring device. Okay, this may spin off easily. this and that. I'm gonna try to put this in there and hopefully it reaches. It doesn't hit the top of the tank. I got a feeling it's going to. I got a feeling it's going to. Soak up the water. Should grab my sponge. Definitely gotta hit that. Beautiful. I gotta use this thing. It doesn't want to work. You kidding me, really? Annoying this. No, I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Let's put the fill valve back in. Tighten her up. Let's get that where it needs to be. Okay. Alright, I just tightened up the brass nut underneath. Let's reconnect the water supply. Okay, get that in there. Let's get our little hose. Let's turn that water back on now.
adjust the chain. Chains not being that cooperative today. Beautiful. This bad boy fill up, which is nice and clean now. Beautiful. Adjusted the rod with the float and the flapper. Now our water level's back where it needs to be. I guess we could take a little bit more slack off the chain so it engages a little bit higher. Let's see that one more time. It's about the same. One more time. It's about the same. One more time. Let's see how that flushes. That's a weak flush. Let's remove some slack. Let's go to there. I think that may be too much, but let's just go there and see what happens, folks. Make sure that it's exactly where it needs to be. Put there exactly where it needs to be. That goes on there. And that goes on there. And let's see how that flushes now. Toto. 1.6 gallon to flush. Let's do that one more time. Yeah, just gotta hold it down a little bit. Let's check this out one more time. See exactly where it was. Good.
Let it go.
Oh, if you count for 2 seconds, yeah, perfect.
Oh,
'Cause I was just
I've always done 2,000.
good because
1,000, 2,000, then I let it go.
yeah, okay. So if you're holding it down for like that 1 second and a half, perfect. Keep doing that.
Okay.
Because I was getting, like for the last 5 minutes, like let me adjust a little bit more because it's a one-piece Toto toilet. Their toilets overall are great. Just their one pieces from years ago, just what they tried to meet that energy.
Downstairs too, and it's a totally different
Yeah.
thing.
the
But
one
it's
downstairs, it's not the one we wanted, but it was when we were doing the renovation on
Yes.
that bathroom. Superstorm
Hurricane
Sandy came
Sandy.
through,
yeah.
and we
All
were
the toilets
lucky
were
to
gone.
even get a toilet at
Yeah,
that
I know.
point. So he just said, "I can get you a Toto, but it's not going to be like that because I like the top of this.
Yes.
the put stuff. The one
Correct.
downstairs is, rounded and
Yep.
everything falls off.
Correct. So at the inside of the toilet, with the exception of the tank lever itself, the thing you flush and hold down, is all brand new. I used a rust removing chemical to get rid of a majority of all that staining inside of it. But I took all the guts out, flushed everything out with water and the chemical, so all that's new. Just for your own reference, if we were to put in some kind of water filtration system, like on the water main, for example, it would be installed after, if you have an irrigation system, so after your sprinkle system, because you don't want to. Yeah, what's that?
In the fall.
No. We would install it after the line, the water line for your irrigation system.
Oh,
So that way you're not filtering the grass.
Grass, good.
You don't
Yes.
want to filter the water.
No.
You don't want to filter the water.
Yeah.
They are the ones we install. There's two different ones. One is a cartridge-based one, like the one for your drinking water system, made by 3M. It's great. Doesn't restrict flow at all. But it would double the life of that drinking water system that you have, but also give you more filtered water throughout the whole home. Something like that installed is a little over $2,000. The filters themselves, the filter itself, is on Amazon for about $170, and you'd probably replace that once or maybe twice a year. It's something more complex that I wouldn't say complex. Something that's more a step above that requires no maintenance for about 10 years is in the $1 range. But there's no maintenance for that whatsoever.
I'm not too old for that.
Yeah, but most of my clients go with the cartridge-based ones. If you could change a light bulb, it's literally that simple. You turn off the power, like turn off 2 switches, right, or 2 valves, and then you spin off this thing and put it into a bucket and throw it in the garbage and put the new one in its place. It's that simple. Years
The
ago,
ones that we have downstairs.
correct? Yeah, almost identical except it's much bigger. And it's like not as big as that, but maybe about this tall and like half the
I'm not gonna
thickness.
handle that.
No, but that tall and half the thickness. But just as a comparison. But it's not nothing. I just want to give you a comparison of what it
Yeah,
looks
but
like.
my point is, we're not gonna handle it. We don't have the strength.
No. You don't trust me. You could do it. Or if you have that plumbing plan, we can come once a year and twice a year and change it for you, as long as you buy the filters and you have them for us. Any questions?
No, we'll think about the water.
Absolutely. When you're ready, just let me know. I'll send you an estimate to your email, and we'll be
Okay.
good to go.
Okay.
One other thing: the plumbing maintenance plan. If you want to sign up for it today, you would save $78.
And we will do that.
Okay, very good. Smart thing. It's $24.95 a month plus tax. If you call us to make an appointment, you're already in the system. If you go online to make an appointment, on our website, you'll just click the button that I have a maintenance plan,
Oh, okay.
and then because otherwise it forces you to pay.
Okay.
So moving forward, instead of $225 hourly rate and $115 trip charge, it just becomes $200 per hour and discounted on parts. So today would have been like $80 cheaper, but actually no, more because you wouldn't have the trip charge as well, but it's fine. And remember, we also do HVAC. So if you ever have a problem with that ductless system or you want to put others in your home, I actually install my own brand that I was able to get from the manufacturer, and it's made at the same plant that makes Carrier and Train.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting that brand, but it doesn't say that name on it.
All right. Okay.
It's like Kenmore.
Yeah.
Kenmore used to go to Maytag and.
Correct. So years ago, like if you bought a water heater at Home Depot, it was a Kenmore,
Yeah.
right, or a GE, but it was made by Rheem.
Right.
Same thing.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was a complete service call. It is 9 o'clock on the dot. I got here at 8:02 on the dot. House Call Pro, our app. Let me just mark it finished. Well, maybe I'm fibbing about that a little bit because it is 9 o'clock on the dot. But according to House Call Pro, I spent 57 minutes on site. 15 minutes was spent in transit going to my location, and the service call is now complete. I believe I showed a tremendous amount of value after still almost 18 years of loyalty. These two ladies still call Pipe Doctor, and now we solidified that even further by signing them up for our plumbing maintenance plan. I don't know what point the video was cut off when I first walked in, but I had noticed right away, because I say this quite frequently, a good technician is observant of their surroundings. I noticed it right away, a ductless mini split system installed in their living, dining room, kitchen area. And I'm like, damn, like someone else got the job, because I was actually thinking about that pulling up to the house, and I saw two window shakers in the two bedrooms upstairs above the garage. I'm like, let me see if I could give them an attractive offer on an 18,000 or maybe even a 24,000 BTU single zone ductless system, especially since I have one sitting in the shop right now. That would be really, really, really nice. But someone else beat me to the punch. But I did drop those little breadcrumbs as I'm leaving out the door. I was like, listen, if you want to install, some in your bedrooms, I get my own name on equipment. That's through the private label program over at ACIQ. If you guys want any stickers, email me, mike@mikeypipes.com. If you would like some business advice, or you want to just pick my brain for some time, virtual consultations, video consultations are available on my website, pipedoc.net. Half an hour will cost you $125. Consider it a small price to pay, and also a portion of that goes to my nonprofit, the Mikey Pipes Philanthropy Charitable Organization, where we provide free or low-cost plumbing, heating, cooling services to those in the community who can't afford to hire a professional. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, the best compliment you can give me and the best way to help me out would be to smash that thumbs up button down below. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. There's no cost or obligation. And that little bell, that notification bell, enable that as well to get post notifications when I drop a video. I have been creating content for YouTube for about 15, 14 years. And over the last 6 or so, 7 or so, on a daily basis. It does take some time, but I enjoy this. It allows me to show to the community how I operate, how I engage with my clients with that bedside manner as a doctor-patient. And it really helps my business out as well. And the revenue, when you watch those ads, help as well. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Be well, God bless, stay safe.